Raiders Nation, get ready because the energy today is off the charts. I woke up this morning and honestly, I cannot wait to share this with all of you. It is one of those rare mornings where everything feels electric, and if you are a fan of the silver and black, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially locked in a top 2 pick in the upcoming NFL draft, and the implications of this are huge. This is the kind of news that makes you jump out of bed, forget about work for a moment, and just smile from ear to ear because your team's future is suddenly looking incredibly bright. Last night's game between the Atlanta Falcons and the Los Angeles Rams set this in motion, and what a game it was. The Falcons came from behind in a matchup that seemed completely out of reach at one point. At 24-3, I thought the Rams had this in the bag, but then everything changed. A blocked field goal, a scoop and score, moments that will live in highlight reels for years to come. And suddenly the whole landscape of the draft is shifting in favor of the Raiders. It is incredible to see how one result can change so much, and that is exactly what happened. What makes this even more exciting is understanding the mechanics behind why the Raiders are now guaranteed a top 2 selection. It comes down to something called strength of schedule, which is the official tiebreaker the NFL uses for draft positioning when teams have identical records. The Raiders, with their current record, were already in contention for a top pick, but the win by the Falcons over the Rams has essentially locked in their position. The New York Jets, who had the potential to leapfrog Las Vegas if certain results had gone their way, are now mathematically unable to surpass the Raiders. Their strength of schedule stands at .550 compared to the Raiders' .542, making it impossible for the Jets to jump over. This is a huge moment for the franchise because controlling your own destiny in the draft is everything. No matter what happens in the final games of the season, the Raiders have secured a top 2 pick and potentially the number 1 overall pick, which is absolutely massive for a team looking to build its future. For fans, this is a day to celebrate, but it is also a day to understand the nuances of what comes next. Securing a top 2 pick does not just happen. It is the result of a combination of games, statistics, and timing that can seem almost impossible to predict. Last night, watching the Falcons and Rams play, there were moments that made your jaw drop. At 24-3, many of us might have tuned out, thinking the game was over. But then, a defensive play completely shifted momentum. Jared Verse, with an incredible scoop and score, reminded everyone that football is unpredictable and that in sports, nothing is ever truly decided until the final whistle. Plays like that not only excite fans in a moment, but also have ripple effects across the league, impacting draft positioning, future trades, and the strategic decisions of every front office. What makes this news so electrifying for Raiders fans is the potential of where the team could go from here. A top 2 pick in the NFL draft is not just a number. It is an opportunity to change the trajectory of the franchise. It is a chance to select a player who could be a franchise cornerstone, someone who could come in and immediately impact the field, elevating the team and setting the foundation for years to come. And the timing could not be better. With the way the season has unfolded, the Raiders have shown flashes of brilliance and areas for growth, and this draft position gives them an opportunity to address exactly what they need most. Whether it is strengthening the offensive line, adding explosive talent at wide receiver, or finding a quarterback who can lead the team into the next era, having that high draft pick is a game changer. The way the NFL draft tiebreakers work means that every detail matters. It is not just about wins and losses. It is about how challenging your schedule has been, how your opponents have performed, and the way the league calculates the strength of schedule to ensure fairness. For the Raiders, this has worked in their favor. Despite some of the tough losses earlier in the season, the team's performance combined with results elsewhere, like the Falcons' thrilling victory over the Rams, has created this perfect storm of opportunity. It is one of those moments where you realize that every play, every game, and every decision throughout the season can have long-lasting consequences. For fans, it is the perfect mixture of suspense and satisfaction, knowing that the franchise is in a position of control at a critical moment in the NFL calendar. Even though it is still early in the season and there are games to be played, the Raiders now hold significant leverage. If they manage to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, there's a possibility of walking away from the final week not only with a top 2 pick, but potentially as the number 1 overall selection. That scenario is both thrilling and nerve-wracking because, as fans, we have to balance our desire to win every game with the strategic advantage of draft positioning. It is a delicate dance, but the fact that the Raiders are in this position at all speaks volumes about the planning, effort, and resilience of the team throughout a season filled with ups and downs. The excitement of today is also amplified by understanding the broader implications for the league. Teams like the New York Jets are actively seeking quarterbacks and have a plethora of first-round picks in upcoming drafts. The Raiders, by securing their position at the top of this year's draft, are putting themselves in a position of negotiating power. They can make decisions that impact the franchise for years, leveraging this pick to potentially trade up, trade down, or select a cornerstone player who can immediately influence the team's identity. It is rare to see such a confluence of circumstances, and Raiders fans should recognize just how significant this moment is. It is not just about the statistics and the standings, though. It is about the feeling of being a part of a passionate fan base during a historic moment. When you wake up and realize that your team has secured a top 2 draft pick, it is electrifying. It is a rush of excitement that makes you appreciate every down played, every field goal attempted, and every strategic decision made on and off the field. Moments like these are what make being a fan so rewarding. The adrenaline, the debates, the anticipation, all of it comes together in a single morning announcement that sets the tone for the future. And it does not stop there. The Raiders have maintained control of their destiny, and that is a huge morale boost for both the team and the fans. Knowing that no matter the outcome of the final games, the franchise is guaranteed a top 2 pick changes the way you view the last week of the season. It turns routine games into strategic showdowns, with fans watching not just for wins, but for the positioning, the opportunities, and the potential moves that could come as a result. Every snap, every touchdown, every defensive stop becomes more meaningful because it contributes to the larger picture of building a winning franchise for the future. Now, as we look ahead, the possibilities for the Raiders are genuinely thrilling. Securing a top 2 pick does more than just promise a new player. It signals a turning point for the franchise, a chance to start building a team that can compete at the highest level for years to come. Fans are not just celebrating numbers on a standings board. They are celebrating potential, opportunity, and a strategic advantage that comes from being in control of your own destiny. The excitement right now is tangible, the kind that makes you want to get your coffee, turn on the highlights, and just watch every play in slow motion, imagining how this next draft could reshape the roster. And that is the magic of sports, the combination of real-world results and the endless what-ifs that make every single outcome feel monumental. The way the season has unfolded, the Raiders have faced their share of challenges, but these challenges make this moment even sweeter. There were games that seemed like they slipped away, moments when the team had to dig deep and show resilience, and times when it felt like the odds were stacked against them. But through it all, the Raiders have maintained competitiveness, and the reward for that persistence is now clear. A position at the top of the draft order, an inside track to selecting a franchise-altering player. For fans who have been there through every high and low, this is a payoff that feels earned, the kind of moment that brings the community together, fueling discussions, debates, and dreams about the future. One of the most intriguing aspects of this situation is the potential matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Even with the top 2 pick guaranteed, the final game of the season still carries enormous weight in terms of team morale and momentum heading into the offseason. Beating the Chiefs would not only send a message across the league, but it would also give the Raiders a sense of control and confidence as they prepare for the draft. Imagine walking away from the season with a win against one of the league's most formidable teams while also having one of the most coveted draft positions. That combination is rare and powerful, a statement that the Raiders are not just thinking about the future, they're asserting themselves in the present as well. For fans, the emotional roller coaster of this situation cannot be understated. There's the pride in seeing the team secure its draft position, the excitement of imagining potential draft selections, and the suspense of the final games, where every snap could affect morale, momentum, and perception. It is a mixture of anticipation and celebration, the kind of feeling that makes being a fan so immersive. You find yourself analyzing every detail, every statistic, every play from other teams, because it all has an impact on your franchise's destiny. And this is why mornings like this, when the news breaks that your team is in control of its draft destiny, feel so electrifying. They validate every hour of attention and every ounce of loyalty that fans invest over the course of a long season. Another layer to this story is how the Raiders' secured position affects the broader NFL landscape. Teams like the New York Jets, who were once in contention to take the #1 overall pick, now have to recalibrate their plans. For the Raiders, this creates a strategic advantage, a kind of leverage that can be used in trades or negotiations. The league is constantly in flux, and draft positioning often drives decisions far beyond just the selection of a player. It influences trades, free agency strategies, and the building of rosters for years to come. For the Raiders, having this leverage means that the front office can approach the offseason with flexibility and options, maximizing the value of their position while planning to address key areas of need. Fans should also consider the psychological impact on the team. Securing a top 2 pick can energize a locker room, giving players a sense of purpose and the knowledge that management is actively working to improve the roster in meaningful ways. It sends a message that the franchise is committed to winning, to rebuilding where necessary, and to strategically enhancing the team in a way that benefits both current players and incoming talent. The ripple effects of this announcement go beyond just the draft board. They influence team culture, fan engagement, and even the perception of the Raiders within the league. It is a statement that the organization is serious about competing and serious about seizing opportunities whenever they arise. The excitement extends beyond strategy into pure fan joy. Picture waking up, seeing the Falcons win over the Rams, and realizing that the Raiders' draft position is now locked in. That sense of elation is compounded by the potential scenarios in the final games of the season. Even though the Raiders face formidable opponents, there is a chance to win, to make bold statements, and to enter the offseason with momentum, confidence, and a sense of achievement. It is the type of excitement that fuels social media conversations, fan forums, and even casual discussions among friends and family. The narrative is no longer just about the past games. It is about the future, about what this pick could mean for the identity of the team, and about the hope that comes with a fresh start. Of course, with all this excitement comes speculation. Who might the Raiders select with their top pick? What position is most critical? Could this be the player who transforms the franchise immediately? Fans will debate endlessly, projecting scenarios, analyzing player stats, and imagining the impact of each potential draft choice. This is the beauty of sports storytelling. The interplay between what is certain, like the draft position, and what is unknown, like the player selection. The combination of certainty and possibility is what keeps fans engaged, making each conversation, highlight, and news update feel essential. And for a franchise like the Raiders, that mix is particularly potent. The team has history, tradition, and a fan base that thrives on big moments. So, a top 2 draft pick is not just a number. It is a story waiting to unfold. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling around the Raiders' locker room after a fiery outburst from head coach Pete Carroll. Sources close to the team claim Carroll reportedly lost his composure during a heated team meeting, allegedly declaring, "We have 2 locker room cancers, and I'm going to eliminate both." The statement, if true, has sent shockwaves through the NFL community, raising questions about internal dynamics and potential disciplinary actions. Carroll, known for his typically composed demeanor and motivational style, appears to be confronting a level of frustration rarely seen in his career. Insider accounts suggest tensions have been simmering for weeks, with whispers of a fractured locker room and players unhappy with leadership decisions. The coach's pointed language has only fueled speculation about who might be at the center of the unrest. While no official names have been confirmed, analysts and fans are now debating which players could be considered the so-called cancers and whether this could lead to trades, suspensions, or even more drastic measures. League observers note that locker room chemistry is often as crucial as talent on the field, and Carroll's dramatic remarks underscore the high stakes at play. Some insiders speculate that the coach's frustration might be linked to repeated lapses in discipline, off-field controversies, or conflicts between veteran stars and younger talent. Others argue that publicizing such comments, even as a rumor, could be a strategic move by Carroll to assert control and send a message to the rest of the squad. Fans have taken to social media, dissecting every recent game and interview for clues about the identities of the players in question. Pundits suggest this could become a defining moment in Carroll's tenure with the Raiders, testing his ability to manage personalities as much as playbooks. The NFL world will undoubtedly be watching closely, wondering whether this is the start of a major shakeup or merely a fiery moment of frustration from a coach under pressure. For now, the speculation continues, leaving fans and insiders alike guessing about the future of the Raiders roster and whether Carroll's elimination threat will translate into real consequences. Whatever happens, the drama adds yet another layer to an already tense season, reminding everyone that sometimes the biggest battles in football happen off the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.